Everybody, what is going on? I am back with more stuff to show off because that's what you like to see, right? More cool stuff that I have that you want to watch me show off in front of the camera when I'm not talking about comics. We do have comics though too, as well as awesome cool little nerd stuff. So I don't know if it's the format or whatever. I'm going to show off the non-gaming stuff first, and then we'll get into the games. Right off the bat, GameStop had these super awesome Doctor Who keychains, and if you're not a fan of Doctor Who, then I highly recommend you go and check out the series. Now, a lot of people are going to argue, go check out the original series that started, I think, back in the 60s. I disagree. I think, well, first of all, they're harder to find, unless you watch them illegally. You shouldn't do that. They are really good. It's got a very Twilight Zone type feel. They're about, I don't even remember. I think I've only seen like several episodes of the very first season. I actually recommend going and checking out the newer Doctor Who that kind of rebooted itself. Not, well, you know what I mean. They did a movie, I think, in like the 90s, and then the series stopped, and then in 2005, they restarted it back up, kind of continuing the series, and it's still going strong now. But anyway, Doctor Who, great series. And GameStop had these really cool, awesome keychains of a bunch of the characters. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail on them, but if you're a Doctor Who fan, you'll appreciate this. This one is the... I almost said that. The 11th Doctor, Matt Smith, who is slowly becoming my favorite. One of my favorite villains, the Cybermen. The 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi. I haven't seen too much of him. I haven't gotten to him yet. I'm still trying to get caught up on Matt Smith, and of course, Netflix got rid of Doctor Who, so now I have to buy the DVDs, and they're not expensive, but they're not cheap. I do believe, unless I am wrong, but based on the designs on here, this is a pyrovile, which is it's an alien organism that basically lives inside of a volcano. And this one, and I'm gonna mispronounce this, it's a Vashta Narada, and those are super awesome because they are aliens that inhibit the shadows, and the only way you can outrun them is to not be in any shadowy area. So I got those for, I think, $1, $2 each. I completely bought out what was left of that GameStop. I really wanted a Dalek or David Tennant or even Christopher Eccleston, but I couldn't get it in time. But yeah, if you're a Doctor Who fan, I recommend you get these. These are going to be probably going up on like a display rack or something because those are bulky and I'm not carrying them in my pocket. So, but speaking of the Doctor Who, did I mention how Doctor Who was awesome? My wife actually got this, so I'm going to say we got this because she got it, but it's going to be sitting on my shelf. And that is the Doctor Who Complete 9th series on Blu-ray DVD. Again, we got a ways to go to get to this. I'm still on volume... Technically, it's still on volume 4. Volume 5 is when Matt Smith came in. He did that, I think, for about 2 or 3 series. And then Capaldi is going to be doing Series 10 as well, which is set to come out really soon. And they're actually going to go for another 2-3 seasons, which, if you're familiar with the show, I don't know how they're going to do that. But it's an awesome show, and I'd watch it forever if I could. This I actually found while I was at a Goodwill. They wanted $5 for this, and it is a complete, unopened Blu-ray collection of the Star Trek Stardate collection, which is the 10 original movies plus the original content. Now, this, if I remember correctly, it is the first 6 original movies with the original Star Trek cast, and then Star Trek Generations, Star Trek First Contact, which is a great movie, Insurrection, which is probably their worst one, Nemesis, which I didn't watch, and then they got a couple bonus features on here. But $5, and this is still sealed. I don't know if you can see that, but that's still sealed for $5. I do like Star Trek. I'm getting into it more and more. I'm watching the Next Generation series on Netflix on and off. So far, it is my favorite season. I keep getting very mixed opinions and reviews on the series, but it's Star Trek, and it's a Blu-ray, and it's sealed. So for $5, it'd be silly not to get into it. Let's see. We'll start off with some cool gifts. One of them being from boy Nate Williams. He does awesome comic pickups and game pickups. And he's like, hey man, I'm tossing some trades, and I want to know if you wanted some. And I don't know if I have the other one. It's somewhere. But he sent me Brightest Day Volume 1. Now this one, this not directly follows up, but it's supposed to take place after the events of Blackest Night. I don't remember if it happens directly after. I think there is a little bit of time period. Because in here, the characters who are affected and taken over by the Black Rings are noticing some negative side effects, despite, being back from the dead. So, Volume 1 of 3, these are a little harder to find. This is a very long series, and so far it's pretty sick. My buddy, Mr. Gamer Emporium, this is part of the stuff he gave me. I'll have the rest of it in another video. But he gave me a couple trades as well. Part of it like saying, thank you for being so awesome. You're the man. Congratulations on your upcoming child, which is super awesome. That's hence why it's changing in here. Yeah, it's definitely a shell of a room. So yeah, game room's going bye-bye, but you know what? It's totally worth it because I have a daughter on the way. But anyway, he sent me some awesome stuff, one of them being Captain Marvel's Secret Invasion trade. I'm not too familiar with Captain Marvel, but based on my review of Civil War II, I think this Captain Marvel is going to be a lot more likable than the Captain Marvel in that one. A trade, Warlock, the complete collection of Warlock, Adam Warlock. And I'm not too familiar of this. At 70s Marvel, no one truly mastered comic adventure like Jim Starlin. I'm still learning more and more about 60s, 70s Marvel. His Warlock set the tone for star-spanning spectacle and remains a high watermark today, imbuing the man-god with inner demons that pushed him to the brink of insanity. Okay, Starlin pitted Warlock against the Magus. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. An evil future vision of himself. Then he created one of Marvel's greatest battle, Warlock versus the nihilistic titan Thanos. And I'm assuming this led into Infinity Gauntlet, because that and the new Infinity Gauntlet are the only two times I've ever heard of Warlock. But got the complete collection here, and Gamer Emporium just gave it to me. And Jason, thank you. That was super awesome. I have yet to read this. I do plan on getting into it. I love 80s. I love this time period of Marvel. I really, really do. Like 50s all the way up until like 80s. I loved. Around 90s is when, in my opinion, it just comic collecting. Just the style just wasn't for me. And this one I bought for $2 at my local comic shop, Collectibles Galore, and he has an awesome deal where he sells all of the trades for half the price listed on them. And he gave me the 4 collector issue of Batman and Death in the Family. This is the story of how the Jason Todd Robin was killed. The reason for that was, and if I remember correctly, the reason for that was comic sales around that time were not doing too well for Batman, so they led up into this series, and it was up to the fans to vote whether or not Jason Todd was going to be getting killed by the Joker. And probably a very gruesome scene, and concludes with Batman holding the body of Jason Todd, who would then later become resurrected and turn into Red Hood. So this is apparently the very first, the first printing run of it, so it's a little bit harder to find. So for $2, that's a steal. So, all right, now on to the video games. I know it took a while. I'm sorry. Hope you forgive me. But I did get a lot of really cool stuff. I'm just gonna kind of go through these in no particular order. Two of them were also a trade from my boy, Gamer Emporium. He just hooks me up. That dude is awesome. Go check out his channel if you haven't already. I sent him Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 on Xbox 360. And he sent me Resident Evil 5 in the collector's edition in the steelbook case. Now this thing has everything. It has the game, it has the bonus disc, it has the original insert, and some bubble wrap to keep things in here. And I love the PS3 steelbooks. I want to say they're better than the 360 ones only because they're a little more compact, they're a little more sturdy, and I feel like it's a better job of just holding everything together. The 360 ones are they're like an extra 2 inches bigger, and it's just there's no reason for it. So he also sent me a limited edition Dead Space 2. Now the reason I wanted this one was because not only is Dead Space awesome, but because it includes a copy of Dead Space Extraction, which is an on-rails Dead Space shooter, which I highly recommend. The only other way you could play that game is on the Wii, and I did sell all of my Wii stuff. So, love to pick that up. I still need to get 1 and 3. For some reason, the first Dead Space is almost $20 used, so I'm going to see if I can try to find one cheap. You know, garage sale season's hopefully coming up, so. Let's see. I got a brand new copy of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning on PS3. It's kind of a mix between Diablo and World of Warcraft. I like it. Had very mixed reviews and not sell as well as it did, but I think it's a fantastic game. I got Assassin's Creed 1, 2, and 3 on PS3 because I'm bulking up my PS3 collection and I did not have the Assassin's Creed series, and I'm definitely going to be going through these pretty hardcore later on. And I had to get this because I pre-ordered the second game, and I wanted to get this on the PS3, and that's Red Dead Redemption. Amazing game. Rockstar knows how to make great games, unless they're Grand Theft Auto, and I don't care if anyone disagrees with me on that. You can continue to be wrong. I think Grand Theft Auto games are incredibly boring. So no hate if you like them. That's just my opinion. I have not been a huge fan of the series ever since San Andreas came out. I played it a little bit, and I'm like, you know what? It's just too much of the same. So let's finish up with some PS4 games. We got the limited edition Assassin's Creed Syndicate for PS4 because why not? I still have a lot more Assassin's Creed to go, and this being in London, it was kind of like the icing on the cake. I'd love to go back again, but we're probably not going to be going back for several years. Resident Evil 4 on the PS4. Controllers are a little awkward to get used to at first, but you know, give it like half an hour, 45 minutes. Once you get through like the beginning sections, everything kind of flows really nice. I'd say this is on par with the GameCube version. I'm not going to say it's better because I do think the GameCube version has probably the best controls, and it just flows better. But that's pretty good too. Graphically, it does look a lot smoother. Sound quality, I'd say, is a little bit better. So overall, in total, I would say it is a really good repackaging of the game. Like, clearly you're going to play it and it's going to look like it was, you know, dated from several console generations ago. However, it's still really good, and they did a really good job with it. And the last one I got on sale at GameStop. They kind of messed up. This is before it went on sale, so I ended up grabbing it for about $25 when it was still being sold for $50. And that is Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. I am absolutely in love with this series. Such a great, great series. Naughty Dog killed it, and they prove they can do more than just like collectathons and Crash Bandicoot. Uncharted is amazing. I loved all 3 of the Uncharted games. prior to this, I'm still torn between 2 and 3. I still think 3 was a better game, but I might have to go back and play them again. But yeah, that's gonna do it. That's all my stuff from this time around. Still have, I think, 1 or 2 more of these to kind of film in rapid succession. So stick around. Probably gonna have these out about a week spread out, but for me, they're only gonna happen roughly within hours of doing it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see you later.